Well, I met everybody from doing Rick's podcast. You know, Tony Schiavone was a guest, Kurt Angle was a guest, Eric Bischoff was a guest. Literally everyone I host a show with, except Arn. We were going to do him as like a Thanksgiving special for a Starrcade and just never got there. But literally everyone else I did a podcast with. So I became introduced to those guys through that show. And then one day I had Bruce Prichard hired to help produce a television commercial that we were doing for the mortgage company. And I thought, hey, since I've become friendly with Bruce, who better than a guy that produced TV for 30 years? So I flew him into Huntsville. We spent, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days working on this. And then we actually executed it, and it was for like a sales rally thing. And it did phenomenally well, far exceeded all expectations. So we started to have conversations about how could we work together more. And it was really his idea because he liked that I sort of allowed people to be creative and paint outside the lines and all that deal. And so I hired him full time to just help with creative on the mortgage side for, you know, both recruiting and sales, and it worked phenomenally well. But one day in particular, after a really long day where we were shooting at 7 a.m. and we didn't finish until like 8 p.m., we both just sort of collapsed on my couch in the living room, like, whew, what a day. And so then I said, hey, man, what happened when the Radicals jumped from WCW to the WWF? And he adjusted his seat to sort of lean in and talk to me. And about an hour and 20 minutes later, I said, dude, that's a podcast show.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, this should be a podcast. He's like, oh, you can't make any money in podcasting. Who wants to hear me talk? And I'm like, no, that's what we need to do. And he's like, man, I tried it. You got to get a different guest every week. It's hard work. I don't want to do it. I'm like, no guests. Just if fans could hear what I just heard, it would be the biggest podcast in the world. And so anyway, I convinced him to just sit in there. Maybe 2 weeks later, I just pulled a little portable Zoom rig out, and I said, let's just practice. Let's just do one. And so he just got used to it, and he was having fun. And I hit up Court Bauer, who at the time had MLWradio.com, and I said, hey, I know you've poked fun at Bruce before on different shows, but I think this will be way bigger than the Ric Flair show. And he's like, buddy, you got a hit with the Ric Flair show? Well, I'll try anything. Let's do it. And we did. And when we finally got around to telling the Radicals episode, we had so many downloads, we just assumed that the Audio Boom site had a glitch. There was no way that many people had heard it.
It had to be a mistake.
Well, because when we first got going, Court said, hey, guys, if you guys could get to like 40,000 downloads, you'll be making some money. This will become like a profitable venture for you. So in day one, or maybe 30 hours in after the Radicals posted, we had like some absurd number, like 300,000 downloads.
Wow.
And I thought, well, they just moved the decimal too far, right? It's 30,000, it's not 300.
Right.
And we were off to the races.